Poppin' YouTube. Yeah, I'm back. I know it's been a while, but we got a lot of good content coming. And today I'm revealing that I finally got my baby back. If you know me, I've talked about it for a long time, but here it is in all its glory. I'm gonna have to excuse the dirt, but she washes up and cleans up nice. Don't worry about that. But here is my 800 horsepower Honda. So before I go into details about the setup, I'm gonna tell you a little bit of history about the car and what it's been through and how it's sat pretty much since I originally built it about 8 years ago. So I originally bought the car in 2011, 2012, end of 2011 into 2012, and it already had LSVTEC turbo in it. It was making around 500 horsepower on 93, probably around 450 or something. And literally the night I bought it, I went out and filled the tank up with 91 or 92, and then went out to Mexico, and yeah, you could imagine what happened after that. So blew it up the first night I got it, and then I had it towed to the shop, Adrenaline, that pretty much built it and made it to what it is now. So after the rebuild, we went crazy on it, and I was trying to make it like a show car, or a little bit of show and go. And that's what we did. Looking back, I probably spent a little bit too much time making it nice, but I mean, as you can tell, it has a shaved engine bay, brake booster delete from Chase bays, which they're not even around anymore. You know, a little bit of goodies from Password JDM, which they're definitely not around anymore. It's got a Chase bays tucked harness. I don't know if you can see that back there. So this, you know, all this is that. Nice and clean. It's got coil packs. This pretty much sits as it did when I built it the second time. So it made 747 to the wheels on 26 pounds on Q16, and that was pretty much the limit. It ran. We ran out of fuel because it's definitely on stock fuel lines, which I think, yeah, it still is, which is still on the stock fuel lines, if you can see that. So it made 747 on 26 pounds. And because I guess either didn't think about it or was trying to just hurry up and finish the car, one thing we didn't do on the build that we should have was put a girdle on it, because the LS bottom ends don't come with a girdle like the GSRs do. So broke a main cap, or cracked a main cap I should say, and then, you know, the rest was history. So I pretty much ran out of money at that point and was over the whole race car build thing. At that time I didn't understand how the race car life is, you know, fix, race, break, repeat. So I ran out of money, lost interest, and sold it to the guy who owned the shop that I bought it, my friend Phil, or Pip. He actually took the motor and sent it off to the machine shop and got it, you know, rehoned and aligned and whatnot, and got the ERL 5-point girdle put on it, which is what I should have did from the beginning, but I didn't. So he did that. I think he actually got the motor back in it, transmission rebuilt and put back in. I think it's got a twin disc in it now. Bigger axles, but right before he could finish it, he got killed, and like 2014, and that was like devastating to everyone around in the car community who knew him or of him. So this technically, it's not the last car he built. The last one he built, I think, was his Mercedes CLS 63 AMG, but this is technically the last Honda that he built. So it holds a little bit of sentimental value to me and a few other people that were involved or around in the build. So after he got killed, the car pretty much sat as it was for almost 8 years now. And I talked about getting this thing back. Once I sold it, I regretted selling it pretty much immediately after I sold it. And I talked about getting it back for years. Years, man. If you know me, you know I've talked about this car for I don't know how long. So we finally pulled the trigger and got it back. I think probably the main inspiration for getting it back was seeing Cletus, or actually Tavares, buy one similar to it, and then him giving it to Cletus. It's probably the main inspiration for me to actually finally make it happen. So here it is. I'm not going to talk you guys' head off too long, but I kind of wanted to do more video step by step of what I've done in the overall rebuild process. So when I got it back, like I said, the motor was in it, transmission, and pretty much, you know, the wheel, everything else. But as far as under here, it was just in pieces, man. Besides the motor and the transmission and whatnot, everything else I've had to pretty much piece together, or piece back together. So let me give a rundown first of everything on the outside. So it's got the 5-lug Type R conversion on it. S2000 wheels. The paint is Suzuka Blue, which also is on S2000 and a couple other cars. I think Honda Odyssey, if I'm not mistaken. Can't really remember. So I've been out the Honda game for almost a decade. So the interior is pretty basic, clean. I believe those are SI seats. You know, factory steering wheel. I think it's a SI cluster. Don't quote me on that. Like I said, I'm rusty. V1 AEM EMS. And man, that's a dinosaur right there, but it still works. I hope. I pulled it out from under the carpet. It's gonna look a lot cleaner than that. I just pulled it out from under there to see, you know, what all's going on. Pretty clean, man. I mean, overall for a Honda, it pretty much sits exactly as I built it. I haven't really changed anything on it. That is the battery box, which is dirty for some reason, and there's water getting in here somewhere. But definitely gonna have to move that and put a fuel cell in here for the new fuel system. So that brings me to the overall current setup on the car, what I've done and then plans. So as it sits, it's a LSVTEC turbo, obviously. It's pretty much fully built. The bottom end is sleeved. I don't know if it's closed deck or not. I can't remember. It's got the girdle, the ERL 5-point girdle to hold everything together. Pretty much stock transmission, but it has carbon synchros and whatnot. Twin disc. I don't know if it's competition or what. Don't know the brand. T1 catch can. I'm pretty sure you haven't seen one of those in forever. All that running here. AEM fuel rail. Right now it's got ID 1000 cc injectors in it, which I'm gonna change eventually. Right now the plan is to just get it running. I need to get it running because we're about to move finally to a way better spot. And man, wait until you guys see that. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but we'll just say it has a massive shop and garage. I won't talk too much more about that. I'll save that for the next video. So that's pretty much the plan. This isn't going to be the final setup as it sits. This is all just me to get it running enough to get it up out of here and at least onto a trailer. So full race top mount manifold, The original turbo was a GT35R82. This one is a brand new Precision 6766. I just put this radiator on there because it didn't come with one. I don't know what happened to it. Like a lot of parts that I originally had on here are missing or just lost over the years from sitting. I mean, I don't know. When you have a shop and you build cars and things sit and you don't know if they're gonna run or not, or maybe not soon, you borrow parts off of them, I guess. So I can understand why certain things are missing. Like I'm missing my boost solenoid, which would go there. Saw the wiring for that. Missing map sensor. I'm missing my cam trigger. I think this is the cam trigger plug because it's the only one that is tied into the coil pack wiring. So I need the plug for the cam trigger right here. Got another timing belt in there, brand new. Oil pump is getting ported. I took it off to check to make sure it was ported or not, and it wasn't. So I'm gonna do that myself. Put it back on there. Edelbrock Victor manifold, which Pip shaved the Edelbrock off there, so it looks pretty clean. Looks a lot cleaner. He didn't like Edelbrock, and I kind of agree how it just looks out of place on a Honda, which it's a common manifold that people use besides the Skunk 2 manifold. Stock throttle body, which I'm gonna change that. I don't know, eventually anyway, with the Speed Factory. I think it's a 75 or something millimeter throttle body. What else? Those are the battery posts, obviously, because the battery's in the trunk. The brake booster delete. I kind of want to put a brake booster back on there because manual brakes are a little sketchy, but it does have the Willwood proportioning valve, all braided brake lines going to these Brembos, which we just put these on there yesterday. Don't have the calipers, but these are RSX calipers if I'm not mistaken, and these are actually RSX rotors and brakes, which still fit and are interchangeable with the Type R, the Civic Type R and Integra Type R brake stuff if I'm not mistaken. So braided brake lines. Definitely gonna change the suspension eventually. I don't know if I'm gonna do that before the move or not, but that's definitely got to go. Mickey Thompson drag radials are gonna be a must. I love the black intercooler because it's kind of hidden, so I need to paint these black, and the license plate hides that when the front bumper's on here. Full race traction bar. I kind of want to do something different with the exhaust eventually, but as it sits, I'm just gonna bolt it and hook it all back up. Moroso, I think it's a 4-quart oil pan. TIL 44 millimeter wastegate, which I need to do something a little different with that. The original setup last time, on it, we ran a bunch of these are for the turbo blanket. We ran coolant lines, which one of them's here and then the other one's running down there to cool the wastegate, which is what people do on like road race setups. Don't really have to do it, and I'll probably actually cap all that off, get rid of that so I can, you know, clean it up a little bit under here. But I just went ahead and hooked everything back up the way it was, just for now. Like I said, the plan is to just get it running. Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator. We got the fuel filter back there, which I checked, man. It's crazy. It's been sitting for this long, and the thing was actually spotless, clean in there. I don't know if they cleaned it out a while ago or not. But what else? Hopefully these coil packs work. These are pretty old. These are the original K-series coils that actually came with the car originally when I bought it. And all Pip did was he put these stickers in there and like put enamel or something over them to keep them in there, which was pretty dope. I don't know why some of them are yellow. That one's pretty clean. These just yellowed out, I guess, after the epoxy dried or whatever. It's got the drive shaft shop 5.9 axles and hubs. So this hub is huge. This axle nut is huge. These axles, the website says they're good for 850 wheel. So we gonna see. The plan is to eventually make, I want to make, which it's crazy to think that on this small piping, the stock throttle body, factory fuel lines, the other turbo, this small, relatively small intercooler, that it made the power that it made. But boy, it was struggling to make it. Let me tell you, it wasn't easy. So this time around, I just want to get it running together and see, put together and see what it does. But I think that I want to get as close to 1,000 as I can. It's probably far-fetched. It's just a goal of mine. But I also don't want to sacrifice drivability, because it is going to still be a street car. But I don't know. I just want to see what it makes. As far as the interior, definitely need crank handles. I don't know why those are gone. It definitely had those when I sold it. But definitely gonna do some different seats, steering wheel, different shifter, probably a cage. I'm not gonna put a crazy cage in here because it's a street car, and it's good to be safe having a street car, but you don't want no crazy cage in your street car unless you're wearing a helmet when you're driving it all the time. So you don't want your head hitting off of that. But I don't know, maybe I'll do it with some padding. I'm not focusing on looks as much as I did the first go around, because the cleaner you make it, the more you're gonna have to keep it clean. So that was a big deal to me. This time I'm not worried about it. I mean, you have imperfections on the original work, coming off. I'm not worried about any of that stuff, man. All I'm worried about is it to just work and be reliable. So I don't know, maybe I'll get some new dress-up bolts. Man, these are a little worn out. Got them all over the place. Or maybe that's the only part of the car that I'll focus on looking good is under the hood. But for right now, again, plan is to just get it running. And we're not far off. Don't really have much left to do, just a bunch of little stuff. I need the overflow for the radiator. I need the map sensor, which that'll be here. I got a Speed Factory map sensor coming. I'm not sure what I want to do about fuel. I'm actually kind of dreading doing the fuel system. I know what fuel system is eventually going to be on it. It's going to be dual D-Works 350s with the D-Works surge tank, and it's going to be on E85. But just for now, I kind of want to see if it'll at least start up and run enough for me to, like I said, get it to the new house when we move, which will be pretty soon. Another thing that I need to do is, I know we originally degreed the cams, but I want to make sure and double check that they're degreed now, because that is very important. I'm pretty sure they were, and I've been told that they were, but I just want to double check it, because if they're not and something's off, either from me messing around and messing with the cam caps under here that I had to rethread, then yeah, first time it cranks, the pistons and the valves are gonna say hello and kiss each other, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna double check that and triple check it before we actually fire this thing up. Which also, let's go in here and show you all these parts that I got. There's the bumper right there. It's a mess in here right now. This is exactly why we're moving, because we ran out of space and there's no garage. So oil pump is right here, which you can tell that it's not ported, because right in here you would be able to see, get some light in there, you would be able to see the polishing and it would be bigger in there. That's one way to tell. I also need to pull this out and shim it. So I'm gonna do that. I'm just waiting on a drill bit. I need to go get a drill bit and do that, which I might do that today. I'm not sure. It might not be in this video. This video is more like just a rundown and like a catch-up video to show you guys basically what I've been up to. I know I haven't been filming, but I'm damn sure been out in Mexico and filming stuff. I just haven't edited and made an actual video in a while. So here's a Speed Factory B-Series billet timing pointer. Check this, man. This thing is very dope looking. It's billet aluminum. Got the nice logo on there. That's gonna go on here. This is gonna go on there. And what this is for is when you're running a ATI super damper, it's kind of hard to see the timing marks on there the way it sits. So that just, the pointer over there just helps you out to see what you're doing. Here's the what is this? It's another crank key. Can't lose that. There's the headlight Pip made. Pip took a factory Honda headlight, cut it out, and put this little vent in there so you could for the turbo. Little stuff like that. Here is the oil pressure gauge that I'm going with for now. I want to do all AEM stuff, but just for now, this is just something I had or got for a pretty good deal. Need to put that on there. I got a bunch of no-name eBay dress-up bolts for the valve cover. Got some brand new cam cap bolts that I'm gonna put in, because I just put like I put the old ones back in there after I rethreaded and time inserted everything. But I'm gonna go ahead, and since I ordered those, really didn't need them, I'm gonna go ahead and put them in there. The factory, or not the factory, replacement timing belt. What else do I got? That's pretty much all I got right now. So other than that, there's just a bunch of little things that need done that I'm waiting on as far as parts go. But as far as future plans, like I said, it's probably going to go on E85, so I'm going to run all new fuel lines, fuel cell, 2000 or 2150cc injectors, probably eventually get a dog box, which I don't know. With these axles, I'd rather break a stock transmission than a dog box. If you know what how much those cost, around 10. Could probably find them, the gear set anyway, for like 65. But you're still talking about a car. So I don't know, maybe different turbo manifold setup, maybe a front facing one or something, I don't know. Weight bar, that's all up in the air as we go along and as we progress. So I just wanted to do a video to catch up with you guys and let you know how things have been going and what's been going on, and that there will be a lot more content to come now that I have time to actually film and do things. Just right now I'm waiting on parts, and we're waiting to close on this house and make the big move. So once we do that, man, once we do that, there will be a lot more content and videos with the Charger, the Honda Blue Note, and a couple of my friends and their setups. So stay tuned. See y'all next time.